Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to another video on the new Jimny channel. In today's video, we will be talking about performance, that is, overall performance of the new Suzuki Jimny. In the beginning, when I was thinking about how bigger tires would affect performance of the car, I never realized how much of an upgrade you needed to do and how much it would cost. But now I know. Going from a size, which is a 29-inch tire, to a 35-inch tire is a big, huge upgrade. And that upgrade is basically hard to adjust everything else in the vehicle, such as gear ratios and engine performance, to be able to turn those bigger tires. Problems such as the speedometer is not reading correctly. It reads about 10 to 12 kilometers less than it actually is, and it's very hard to get an upgrade or a correction box which can take care of that. I think it also affects the overall mileage of the vehicle. So let's say the car is driven about 10,000 kilometers, it could be driven about 10,200. So gear ratios and tire size matter when it comes to that, and also the computer that says the fuel economy is not reading the fuel consumption right. The first 2 or 3 months when I had the car, I had the new tires on, I didn't have new gear ratios. I was thinking about putting new gear ratios in the transfer case, but that is very, very hard to find. And as far as I know, there's nobody that has done an upgrade or a kit for regearing the transfer case. So the only option you have is to replace the actual gear ratios, and that is very, very expensive upgrade. So about 6 months in, I did that upgrade, and it really helped a lot, but it's not enough. I went from 413 gear ratios to 488 ratios. Like I said, which is a lot better, but still, when you're driving the car against very strong headwind, usually the RPM is around about 3,500 to 4,000, which is not good for the fuel economy. But driving downwind, it's actually very good, and also just in calm winds and flat roads. Driving up steep hills, we have a lot of those here in Iceland, and you rev the RPMs up to like 4,500 to 5,000 RPMs just to keep up speed. Even though we did an upgrade on the horsepower increase, we mapped the engine or the car's computer ECU. We managed to squeeze in there about 10 to 12 extra horsepower. Still, it's not enough, and the car really lacks power on those big tires. I think it lacks power even though if you had the normal tires. I think the issue is not about increasing basically the horsepower. It's more, I think, increasing the torque. More torque gives the car better driving capabilities. Let's say you're driving headwind and you're driving up a small hill. You can sustain the RPMs without the car having to gear down to maybe second gear or third gear, and it's just, it revs too high. So better torque will help the car when it sustains like heavy headwind or driving uphill. Now, since the computer in the Suzuki is a very simple computer, it's not like the ECUs or the computers you have in the American vehicles like the Jeep or the Dodge or Ford, whatever it is. So you can't adjust the shifting ratio inside the computer for the transmission, which would help tremendously when you put the car on bigger tires. There are not many options available for the new Suzuki Jimny JB74 so far. But the only thing that has surfaced recently is a supercharger kit from Bullet Superchargers in Australia. The testing phase of the supercharger, and they have installed it in a couple of cars, but there is not much information out there that really tells how this system has done overall in a year or so. And I really need to have some sort of a confirmation that tells us that this system really works. I'm not going to buy something for about $6,000 to put it in the car, not knowing how it's going to last in the car. Some say you can buy turbo kits, you can buy a special kit from Greddy, for example, but there is nothing out there which supports facts that this will suit the engine. But the closest today is the Bullet Supercharger. And you can send your original ECU in the Suzuki Jimny to them, and they will reprogram it for you and send it back to you. But getting the computer all the way to Australia and back is very expensive, so I think I'll take the second option, which is an extra computer from Exceed. It's a package that comes programmed with a supercharger kit, and it comes with 2 sensors where you can adjust the PSI for the supercharger. My good friend Gisli at Car Programming here in Iceland, he advised me that if I was going to do something for the engine, please buy some stuff from recognized companies that have good reputations for selling their product. And I think Bullet Supercharger is that company. And this supercharger will increase the horsepowers of the car about 80%, which means it goes from 100 to 180 horsepower. And I think that will definitely help the car overall, whether if it's in high gear, driving up headwind or up hills, or in low gear, sprinting up steep slopes. In snow, especially if you have your tires air down, you need a lot of torque and power to drive up a snow hill. Today I'm going to do a little test on the Jimny. The fact is that I ordered some new gear differentials in the axles, and I haven't tested out the vehicle with the current ratios, saying how fast is it from 0 to 60 or 0 to 50. That would be 100 kilometers an hour. So I decided to test it before I had the new diffs put in. So let's see what it does here. As you all might know, it's modified heavily on 35-inch tires and God knows what else. And there's no secret that it's not that much fun to drive. The reason why is the differentials. Now, putting bigger tires on a small car with the same gear ratio, it's almost like your starting gear is third gear or fourth gear. So it's very slow to start, and it takes a while to get up to a certain speed. Also, the speedometers, they don't show the same as it would be on original tires. Today I'm going to do a test on the old gear ratios. So these are gear ratios in the drivetrain and the axles, and ring and pinion. And I actually got in the mail the other day a new differential, so I'm going to do the test before I put those in and do a test afterwards also. So let's do this. Okay, so here's the setup. I've got the phone, and I have this app on the phone. It shows the actual speed, and then you can see the actual speed here on the speedometer itself. So let's see how it shows. So we're gonna head up here on the highway, and we're just gonna rev it up and see how fast it is. Go. Doing 130 seconds. So as you can see here, it's almost like 80. Doing 96 and 80. Okay, so we did the speed run, and it seemed like it was doing about 30 seconds from 0 to 100. And we're going to do another run here. See how that goes. And we're just going to rev it up a little bit, and also you pay close attention to the RPM speedometer. And we'll compare that once we have the new gear ratios in, and we'll compare that also to it. All right, so let's do this. Okay, so now this is testing 2 of speed for the Suzuki Jimny. 3, 2, 1, go! Come on, you can do it. 10, 11. A little wind. So it was almost 21 second. 21 second. But as you can see right here, so let's hold this. We're doing 100. And it's showing 85. 86, 87, 100. Just about 90. So the test showed we did almost 100 in 21 seconds. And it was a little bit wind in the face, but a little bit downhill also, so that should be very equal. But it'll be very interesting seeing how this is going to turn out on the new ratios. So once we have that installed, we can test it out again and see if it's any better. Okay, one last thing. I wanted to show you when the car is doing 93, 95 kilometers an hour. The RPMs are almost 4,000. So it doesn't shift into the high gear and stay at like 2,000, 2,500. So that means the gas mileage is just terrible. Absolutely terrible. So even though if I'm doing 96, it's still 4,000 RPMs. Now if I go down a hill, let's rev it up to 100 here. Passing a vehicle here. Doing 102. Now it's pretty smooth to ride. As you can see, it's over 4,000 RPMs. And it's not even shifting down. There it goes. There it goes. 2,500. 100. But once it's not going downhill anymore, it's going to shift gear one lower and put the RPMs all the way up there. And that's no good. That's no good at all. And even the overdrive on the shift handle doesn't matter. There you go. See that? Went to 3,500. 94. So it's always shifting up and down. And I just hate that. I hate it. Here's the thing, guys. Suzuki doesn't do that all too well on the old gear ratio. As you can see, I'm doing 93 kilometers an hour. Got the RPMs all the way up to 4,000 almost. We're just driving straight on the road here, on a paved road, and it doesn't shift downwards unless it's absolutely calm winds or even just downhill, basically. So it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. So I'm just gonna install the new gear ratio and see how it does. Maybe later on we'll put in a supercharger. I think everything will be fine then. At least I really hope so. It's quite boring to drive the car like that. As you can see, just when you're going downhill, it shifts down to maybe 2,500. 95. As you can see, we're headed downwards. Going up a hill, it's just sucking on gas. So this is what I dislike the most about the old gear ratios. It should be able to do 90, and it should be 2,500 RPMs. So let's hope that will turn out when new gear ratios come in. I'll show you a video later on to confirm that. So for now, bye-bye.